As I've said now in multiple videos, the Excel 2020 Fantasy Baseball Draft Tool is out and ready for you to download. You can find your copy by going down below in the description to the link to my website, and then going to the download tab. In this video, I'm going to cover the draft tab. This is where you'll spend most of your time setting up and drafting your team. At the time of creating this video, the newest, most updated version is 1.06. As I was making these video tutorials, I found a couple things that weren't working as I had expected them to, so I went ahead and modified those and released the new version. And I also made an improvement on the rankings in the 2020 projections tab, because there I noticed that if you re-ranked your players by sorting them by runs or any category, and then you saved it, you lost all your rankings. So I went ahead and modified that to make it not do that. And then there were a couple of other bugs that I fixed as well. Bugs are no bueno. I'm going to be doing this demo with my personal league keepers, but you could do the same exact thing if you didn't have any keepers in your league. It's the same principle. And I'll go ahead and I'll set up about the first 3-4 rounds. I don't want to go too far in depth, because in the managers in my league, you'll be like, oh my God, that Patrick guy is so amazing and talented. I'm going to steal his picks. All right, so let's jump into the tutorial. So the last thing that needs to be set up in the draft tool is the draft tab. If you set up keepers like I did, you'll see them here on the draft board. In addition, you'll see them at the top of the list with their pick numbers highlighted in yellow. In order to see them over here on the right on the stat estimator area, we just need to slot in their positions. You can see that the estimated totals are here in black. Our goal area is populated from the stat estimator stats, which are the last 5 years of data that you entered before. So now if we look at our draft board, we can see our pick numbers. In my scenario, I'll be picking 8th overall. So I know I can count 8 down from the list, and I'll at least get one of those players. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I don't really care for Chris Sale, so I'll go down one more because I won't be drafting him. So I know that I will at least be getting one of these players. And for me, in my scenario, since I have so much offense already, I'm going to be going pitching the first 4 rounds for sure. So I'm a big fan of Luis Castillo, so I'm going to go ahead and put in him as my first pick. Obviously, if Steven Strasburg, Walker Buehler, Jacob deGrom, or Jake Flaherty fall to me, I'm definitely going to draft them. But more than likely they won't, so I'm going to go with Luis Castillo. And second, if I'm unable to get him, I'd probably end up going with either Charlie Morton or Patrick Corbin. So now let's count to pick 16. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know again I'll be receiving one of those players in those 8. And again, I think I'll probably stick with Morton or Corbin if they're there, but we'll just go ahead and add on some other pitchers just in case they're not. Since I play in a Yahoo league, it might be beneficial to actually look at the Yahoo rankings, because that's what other people are going to be going off of. Pulling up the Yahoo rankings here in the keeper assignments, it's got everybody in order, both pitchers and hitters. So it's got their overall rankings. And so I know again that Luis Castillo kind of falls out of that top 8. I know I should be able to get him. And if not, Patrick Corbin is right here and Charlie Morton is right here. For my second round, I'd still be content getting any one of those remaining that are left over from the first round. If not, I can go ahead and go with Giolito. I think the numbers that he put up last year were pretty solid, and I think he will be able to do that again this year. Noah Syndergaard wasn't that great last year, but I think he can rebound a little bit, so I wouldn't mind going with him in the second round either. Who doesn't like Thor? I really like Christian Paddock. He had a really good rookie year. The only issue I have with him is that they might put him on an innings limit this year. So now that we're at pick 22, I like to look for people just outside of it, because it's more likely that I'll be able to draft them and lock them in. Berrios seems like he's doing pretty good. And then also Trevor Bauer, he always concerns me with that whip and that ERA, but he's definitely going to get a ton of strikeouts. Now he's in Cincinnati, so he should be able to do a little bit better. He's facing 8 hitters instead of 9, so that could be beneficial. And then Carlos Carrasco, I don't know, he seems to me like an injury risk, so I'll probably stay away from him. And Kluber, you got to hope for him to bounce back, but I really like Soroka, so I'd go with him, even though he's the only one on this list who is basically striking out less than 1 per inning. So I'd be pretty content with any of those 9 guys in the first 3 rounds, so we can actually test them out and see what the stats actually look like for them. And then we'll slot him into the starting pitcher. And we'll say we get the first one in each one. So we'll go with Castillo, Giolito, and Berrios. So we got Castillo, we got Lucas Giolito, and then we got Jose Berrios. All right, so we'll slot them in as our number 2 starter and our number 3 starter. And then we'll take a quick peek at the stats over here. You can see we'd be doing pretty well at this point, getting more strikeouts than innings pitched, a good number of wins, ERA is kind of right around our target, and our whip is right around our target as well. And then if you want to get these guys kind of bumped up here, you just hit the resort button, and you'll see that all your picks will now be up here. So that's the basic principle for the draft tab. So you just be doing that over and over until all your queue is filled. This way you had a couple extra picks for each round in case one of the players that you wanted got drafted. And then you can also go through and try out different scenarios. So say instead of Luis Castillo, I wanted to see what Charlie Morton looked like here. I could go ahead and slot Morton in. So let me go ahead and get rid of Luis Castillo up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and slot in Charlie Morton instead with that top pick. And now we see Charlie Morton stats here. So you can see that we'd actually be a little bit better off if we went with Charlie Morton and he reached these estimated stats. So actually I'll go ahead and swap Charlie Morton with Luis Castillo. This will be pretty much the last installment of the tutorials covering the draft tool. If there's anything else specifically that you want to see, please go ahead and leave that down below in the description so I can cover that as well. And also, if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave those down below so I can go ahead and answer them for you. So yay, I had another question recently, and the user asked, is there a way to edit the positions, for example, adding a middle infielder or corner infielder positions? Thanks in advance. Well, I didn't actually put in any of those positions. I figured that the utility positions could be used for that instead. If that's something that you guys want, please go ahead and leave that down below and let me know that that's what you want. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed the tool. It was fun making it. It took a long time to make it, more than I like to admit, but it was still fun. It's an election year, so I approve this message.